Hello and welcome back to the Weekend Gardener, back at it again. To start off this week, I think I need to pot on my onions. The first batch of Bedfordshire Champion, the roots are starting to come out of the bottom, so it's time to pop them on. I've got some small seed trays that I'm going to pop them into, give them a little bit more room just for a couple of weeks, and I'll pop them on again. The compost that I've got isn't the best really, so I don't want to keep them in there too long. I'm going to put a little bit of enrichment in, a little bit of bloodfish and bone, just to give them a little bit of a boost. Give them a good watering and then take them back home and put them into the grow house, and there goes the car alarm. So before the rain starts, I'm going to get everything set up. So these are the Bedfordshire Champion. I sowed them just into New Year, and as you can see the roots are starting to come out of the bottom, so they're about ready to be potted on. I'm just going to put them into these. These are a 10 module cell, and there's 30 plants there roughly, so I should be able to fill these up and I'll take them back home. So I'll get everything mixed up and get going. Right, so I'll try again, this time with the camera on. So I'm just going to take these two out here gently, squeeze in the bottom of the cell tray, get them out as delicately as I can. Benefit of using seed compost is it just shakes off the roots really easily. Dib a little hole with our finger, make sure all the roots are in, don't bury it too deep, fill the hole, firm it in, give it a little pat, and then just repeat. And that's all there is to it, there's nothing complicated. And there we go, I shall carry on and do the rest on my own, and I'll show you all 30 when I've finished. And there we have it, 30 Bedfordshire Champion seedlings. There was a few that I threw away, they weren't quite up to the standard, so I've picked out the best ones I can, probably threw around about 5 or 6 away, which isn't a lot really. And I'll have another batch which will be ready in probably a month or so. But to be honest, there's probably enough onions there for me, 30. Should see me through most of the year. I found this year that I've still got some left that I haven't used, but they've started to dry out and sprout. So I think realistically the shelf life of them is around about 6 months. So if you are growing onions, I would suggest that if you just grow enough to last you 6 months, you should be good. Perhaps some varieties over winter and store a little bit better. But I've found out for me that I've grown 4 or 5 different varieties and they're all in pretty much the same state. So what's left at home now are either going to be used to grow on for seed or just going to be put into the compost. So I'm not going to water these while I'm down here because the water on the allotment is going to be really cold. I'll wait till I get home. I'm going to give them a nice drink. I'm going to put some feed in, give them a good soak for an hour or so, take them out, and then they should be just growing away happily under the grow lights. Probably. Well, it's not been the best of starts to the day. I got down here to the allotment and realised I'd forgot my drill. So I had to quickly turn around and head off home. And today I'm just going to see if I can get a couple more of the raised beds in. I know after last week I'm only going to probably get one in today, but I shall just keep plodding away and eventually we'll get there. So I'll dig out my equipment, get one of the beds knocked up, and then get it in. I'm not going to film it because you've seen it all last week. I don't want to keep showing the same thing over and over again. So I'll just show you little progress pics as I go along. Got a fair bit done today actually. That's one new bed that's in, levelled off, topped off, and I've dug for the next bed. I just need to put the corner stakes in, square it all off, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the soil from the centre here, which was one of the raised beds, so although it looks a bit trodden, it is good soil under there, and I'm going to use that to fill in that bed, and any excess I'm putting into the panellet corner beds that are in the fruit cage. So hopefully by the end of tomorrow, if the weather holds up, we should have all these 4 beds done. I've just covered over the 2 that I did last week because there's cat prints in them, so I don't want the cats making a mess. So that's the bed all staked in, but I don't know if it shows up very well on the camera, but there's just big mounds of dirt everywhere. You can see there where I've gone over. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take all of this, dig it up and drop it into one of the pallet collars that I've got up on the other section, just to give me a bit of a safer work area. that's enough digging for today. I managed to get the bed filled in, lined with the black plastic. I've levelled out the walkway. I've got that pile there to go, and that pile, but this is going to be the difficult bit now because of these raised pallet collars that I've got here that have got the onions in. So I'm going to take the onions out and I'm going to put them into this bed, but before I do that I've got to finish off making the netted cover. So I'm going to do that for an hour or so now, and then I think I'll call it a day because I'm absolutely worn out. I think I've just about managed to beat the rain. It's getting a few spots now, but that's the first cover done, and that's movable and hinged at the moment. I'm going to replace the EnviroMesh because there's a few little holes in it. It's been out on the plot for about 3 years now, so it's not going to last forever, so I'm going to get that done, but just to make sure it all works and I'm happy with the design, I'll put a central beam across the top and use that to secure the central tube. I was worried that the tube was going to force the edges of the wood out, but it doesn't seem to have done too much of a problem. And what I could do is I could just add a little peg onto the inside of the bed, so if it does push it out, it's only going to push against the side of the bed. But yeah, it seems to be working quite nicely. With all the soil that I've removed from the beds and the paths, I managed to fill these 2 pallet collars up, so these are ready for planting now. I'm just going to cover them over with a bit of black fabric, ready for spring. That's another little job knocked off the list. I think I'm going to call it a day there. It's just starting to rain and I'm cold and wet, so I'm going to get myself inside. I've got a little bit of a cold coming. I've had a sniffly nose, I've been sneezing a little bit, so just going to see if I can recover, ready for work tomorrow. So just like to say thank you all for watching, and I'll see you again next week.